Hello there, Facebook. I thought I'd do another little live. So I spoke earlier today about some of the stigmas attached to dogs and the labels that we attach to them and things that we expect of them that are somewhat unrealistic. So I thought it would be good because for the next 2 weeks I actually have a residential dog staying with me, Atlas. So I'm going to just flip the camera. So this is Atlas. Good boy. He's a little Jack Russell cross, or a Jack Russell type. Come on, man. That I've got in for training for the next 2 weeks, and he's come to me because he's got some behavioural challenges. He doesn't have a recall, which we'll be working on. He also has some behaviour where he could be deemed as reactive. He's got some lead reactivity towards other dogs. He's got reactivity towards other dogs when he's on a lead. He also appears to lack confidence in various situations, which would be a consistent theme. So he's just having a little mooch around. There he is. Good. And I only got him literally this morning. He was dropped off actually not long after the live, so it's just wandering around. He's on a long line because I'm just letting him have a little mooch on this walk, just following wherever he wants to go, so hopefully not causing him to be concerned, and just starting to form a little bit of a relationship with him. I have in my pocket high value treats, which let me see if I can offer him one. Let's see what he does. Pop, pop. He says nope, not interested. So obviously he doesn't really know me. Oh, good boy. Pop, pop. Let's just see where he goes. So he doesn't have any relationship with me as yet, and obviously my job is to try and form that with him. So I'm just obviously letting him have a little leg stretch. He was dropped off this morning, and I tend not to mix my dogs with any residential dogs in for at least probably 24 hours. Maybe I might introduce him to the little dogs depending on how he gets on. But at the moment, he's just a little bit overwhelmed by everything, which is normal. Yeah, so it's really about getting him comfortable. And then we can think about actually starting some training and engagement and behaviour modification with him. So at the moment, I've just got him on a long line. And wherever he wants to go, okay, I'm just following him. So he's on, as you can see, his own little path. He's investigating the environment, which is fine. I'm just letting him go where he likes. He's scent marking quite a lot. He is entire, so that's not unusual. Just pick up this lead. Good boy. And I'm just really observing, finding out a little bit more about him. Obviously, we don't have a relationship, so it's unlikely he's going to have any real strong response to me at this point. It's really about forming that relationship and then being able to find out what reinforcement I can use, how to approach training him. Good boy. Let's see if I can get a pop, pop. Pop, 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 pop. He says nope. So I'm sniffing. I'm doing my own thing. So I'm just going to follow him around this tree so I don't get him tangled. Good boy. So I'm keeping hold of the long line, obviously from a safety point of view, but allowing him to just roam and go where he likes. I'm not putting any criteria on him. I'm just letting him basically investigate the environment and just observing and seeing how best to approach helping him. So it's really common. He's 11 months old, and that's a really challenging time for a lot of dogs where they can often develop issues or behavioural challenges that are often related to adolescence. So any of you by the way, if anybody, hopefully I'm coming out because I know people couldn't hear me, so if anybody is watching, just give me a thumbs up so I know that you can hear me. So adolescence is a notoriously challenging time for dogs where often they can develop behavioural challenges. Perfect, thank you. Behavioural challenges that could be defined as reactive. So I'm not going to use his name because I'm going to talk about that in a second. So this puppy has had some challenges definitely that are related to hormones, I would assume. He's adolescent. Come on this way. Do you want to go this way? Come on. See if he'll change with me, follow me a little bit. Let's see. Just got my long line. Want to come this way? He says, nope, I do not. He says, I do not know you. Should we go this way? So you can see at the moment no reaction whatsoever, which is normal. He doesn't know me. I've got him on a long line, and as I said, I'm trying to keep him safe. Ideally, I would take him to a place where it would be fenced off, but I don't have that luxury, as so many people don't. So I'm using a long line, a little harness on him, so I know he's safe, and if he can have a bit of freedom then, and then he doesn't get if he worries or anything, I can always keep hold of him. So I want to come up, good boy. There we go this way. Just gonna come. That's it. Good lad. So off we go again. So he's just wandering again. Good boy. Good. So I'm just letting him go where he likes. Really not fussed about what he does at this stage. Just getting him to know him a little bit. So, as I mentioned, adolescence is a notoriously challenging time for dogs, and it's where often reactivity can develop, or behaviour that's defined as reactive. So a classic instance with male dogs is they have a hormone surge, testosterone, which when that happens, they can get into situations which results in aggression, or they can be the recipient of aggressive behaviour. So essentially your teenage boy is going to get into a little school fight, or he's going to get beaten up. Either way, okay? Now, it's not appropriate, it's not what we want our dogs to do, but it's not unusual and it's quite common. The key is not to hold it and allow the this way pup, let's go sit on the bench for a little while, is not to hold on to that and live in that state forevermore, where the dog is deemed problematic or aggressive. I'm just going to reel him in a bit. So when that happens, yeah, obviously be proactive. Try and preempt if your dog is at that age, and be mindful of who they mix with. So, for example, this puppy, his name is ATLAS. I'm not going to say it. And I'm deliberately not saying it because he doesn't respond to it. I don't want to further desensitize him to it. I will do some work with him whilst I've got him on improving his name response, but I'll probably choose to retrain a new cue for his recall. So he's just venturing a little bit closer. So I'm just sitting on a bench. I'm going to see if he saunters over in a little bit. So just allowing him space to figure me out a little bit. All right. So he's been at home. He has been in the at my house for a little bit of time when he was dropped off. Let's just get that around there. And I just let him be and let him wander around and investigate the environment. So just letting him find his feet. As I said, I've only had him a couple of hours stay with me, so it's all a bit of an unknown. So as I said, I will probably mix him with the smaller dogs first from a safety point of view, and probably hold off mixing him with Swipe, because Swipe's of a similar age, and what I don't want is for them to have any instances. So that he'll probably he's crated in my vehicle next to Swipe, so they'll be able to sense each other and get a feel of each other, but I'll probably hold off to allow them to meet probably in open space, so that they've got a little bit of distance to move away from each other. So the idea is that they don't have any negative experiences, therefore there's no need for this puppy to be defensive, and there's no need for Swipe to be defensive, and therefore start the catalyst of him being a dog that's reactive or aggressive towards other dogs. So adolescence is notoriously challenging, as I said, and it's where a lot of reactivity can develop. Same with female dogs, often when they are hormonal. Good boy. Good boy. There he is. Good boy. A bit worried, aren't you? Good boy, that's okay. So again, a little bit worried about, obviously, news changes and new environments. That's normal, yeah? Just giving him space to figure things out and let him come around in his own time. So, female dogs, it's typical that they can, again, a hormone change, they can start to show apprehension and anxiety, or they can have dogs be really intrusive to them, especially young male dogs, invade their personal space, which can then start making them defensive. So when you have a dog of that age group or in adolescence, be really mindful and vigilant about whom you socialise them with, to avoid them developing long-lasting issues. Now, my dogs are very well versed with meeting other dogs, so I don't anticipate him having a problem with my other dogs. I would definitely be mindful of him and Swipe because of the age, and just probably put some more time and distance into them initially. I suspect Swipe is very indifferent to dogs and people, so I would be surprised if you took any notice of him, but you always want to err on the side of caution. So I'm going to do several little training sessions with him, which I'll do and I'll share with you guys on Facebook, showing how I would work on things like a recall, which is a really, really important skill that allows you to then live a fuller life with your dogs. I mean, I can walk all my dogs together because they all have a recall, both collectively and individually, which means if there's a situation where hypothetically they had issues with other dogs and I saw other dogs, I would call them back. In the same vein, if I was walking all my dogs here, people don't want my dogs rushing up to them. I would always call my dogs back and get some control over them and allow other people to pass. It's a, you know, again, one of those things about being mindful of what dogs are. I don't know the other dog. I don't know if they're going to appreciate all my dogs coming up to them. Good boy. So they probably won't. So I err on the side of caution. I try and be a courteous, respectful dog owner. So as I said, I'm going to be doing some lives with the puppy, showing how I build his confidence and hopefully give his owners some tools they can implement into their daily life and make a difference with him. So there he is. Okay, good boy. I'm very deliberately not using his name, and the reason being is that often people overuse their dogs' names and desensitize them to them. So I have what I call my dog's house names. Good boy. Let me stroke him, which is good. Good boy. Where if I want to refer to them or I want to engage with them in the house, I just use their house name. And then if I want them to specifically respond, I will use like a nickname essentially. And then if I try and refrain from using their name indiscriminately so that I'm not desensitizing them to it. Good boy. And that's really important if you want a really fast, quick, snappy recall. You want to make sure that you keep your recall cue as pristine as possible and pair it with lots of reinforcement. Good boy. He's letting me stroke him, which is good. So yeah, slowly. Again, he's only been with me a matter of hours. Really typical for a dog to be a little bit overawed. Change of environment. Again, look at it from the dog's perspective. He's been dropped off with this strange person in a house that has other dogs present, which though he hasn't met, he can certainly smell and hear and see. But that's all very overwhelming for him. So he's going to be a little bit, you know, stressed and anxious. So my job is to just make sure he feels safe, not force the process, allow him time so he can get comfortable and advocate for him. So if he's showing concern, I'm not going to have him meet all the dogs in one hit necessarily. I'll be gauged by the dog. It might be that he might be really good with other dogs and it might be a way to build his confidence, but I'll gauge that when I interact with him. So yeah, just a little bit of insight into some of the things that you can do if your dog is reactive or potentially reactive to avoid it developing to a bigger problem. All right, so hopefully this has given you some food for thought, certainly about adolescence and the importance of being aware in adolescence of whom you socialize your dogs with and what could happen. And as I say, over the next couple of weeks, hopefully I can improve this little guy's recall. That's the goal. And we'll see how we get on. All right, love you and leave you guys. Have a good day. Cheers, bye.